no Michigan. We tapped in with DJ Snoop and he told us to spin again. Can't get off that hit again. I see watch no Michigan. Live from the backyard. The backyard, live from the backyard, 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 hey the backyard, live from the backyard, the backyard, live from the backyard, the backyard.
It's your boy DJ Snoop, live from Alabama Backyard, Alabama Hip Hop Radio. Shout out to boy Hackett. I got Arianna and...
Hey y'all, Arianna, grassroots organizer. Do community organizing, I do policy and advocacy work. I'm all about the people because I love us for real. So all my work is culturally relevant to people who look like me, trying to fight the good fight. Let's go.
Okay, so where's all this motivation come from and why you want to get into all that?
That's a good question. So, how I got into this? So, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, so we couldn't even vote. Like, politics was not something that was discussed in my household. Until I got to college, that's when I got really radicalized.
Okay, what college you went to?
Dillard University, the illustrious of New Orleans, Louisiana. So, yeah, I left Mobile. I went to college in New Orleans, 4 years at Dillard. And I would say the HBCU experience is really, because I also went to a PWI when I got here at South Alabama. So the culture is really different, but I'm really happy that I went to HBCU because we got that grounding. Like, we got the understanding of the history of being a Black person in America, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to hear somebody lay that out in the books and things that we read and my professors, like, it was a very transformative experience. So that's probably what kicked it off, because it was like, shit, I'm Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gotta do something about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, hold on, wait. So, yeah, that's probably when I got radicalized at my HBCU. And then we started, so I was in New Orleans, like, 5 years after Katrina happened. Like, cause it was I got to college in 2010, and Katrina happened like 2005, 07, something like that. So yeah. When I got to New Orleans, they were still grappling with the effects of what Hurricane Katrina had did to the city.
Still run down.
In my college had been hit really bad, so they were like just rebuilding, like even the on-campus dorms and stuff they were living in. But anyway, we got to New Orleans. They was going through all that, so like we started showing up at the school board meetings with the teachers, because charter schools was like taking over New Orleans at this time, similar to kind of what's happening here, it just looked different. But so we was going with the teachers to organize the meetings, and then of course students is like kind of like free labor, so all the campaigns came to the campus to get students to go knock on doors, and they just drop us off there, pay us to do all the political stuff for the campus. And most of us couldn't even vote in Louisiana, so but they paid us, so it was like, bet, let's go. Saturday, boom, okay. But anyway, that's how I really got, into the stuff, I guess, on a basic level. And then when I was in college, Trayvon Martin happened. And that was just like a big case. I remember like watching it with my classmates, and we like watched the whole trial. We were like all crying, because what the fuck, what you mean? Like, it was a boom. But then it seemed like during that whole period of time, so many Black people were being like killed by police brutality. So you saw constantly these cases that was being put in your face, and as a Black person, you know what I'm saying? You seeing that, and it's like, what do we do? Because right after Trayvon Martin, it was like Michael Brown, and it was Sandra Bland, and it was so many people. So after I left,
still going on.
Right. What? So still going on. It's the crazy one. But anyway, that's all the stuff that I do. But to make this a long story short, though, like, I just constantly saw injustice. And when you've been educated in a way that teaches you, it gives you a lens to look at not just the circumstances of what's going on, but how that also ties into history and what we've been constantly grappling as a race of people, and understanding the roots of all those things. And like, it's really complex when somebody breaking down, and you have to really sit with the, like, this is a heavy stuff. I be sitting up like, bro.
But how many times you get folks come to you when you're preaching all this and they ask you, do you believe things gonna change?
That's a good question. I believe in change. I believe change is constant. Like, we're consistently going through change. We're constantly evolving, not just as a person, but as like a species, and even in the context of how we're growing as a nation, and just change is a constant thing. I believe that the power of the people makes change happen. Change has to be on a personal level and all these other levels. It has to start within, and then it builds without, type of thing. So we can make change.
Yeah.
And we've made change before. Like, we've seen times, like with the whole, I feel like people romanticize the 60s, you know, the whole era with power movement and stuff. Like we romanticized what that was, but on one hand, the reality is it was a powerful moment where we built power.
Yeah.
We were able to defend ourselves, to fend for ourselves, to make accommodations for what we really need as a community outside of what the government and things can provide of us. Like, they were creating programs to uphold community in addition to. And at that point in time, we didn't have a lot of rights, you know what I'm saying? They were steady trying to, and we're trying to build rights. So anyway, the whole success of like the civil rights movement, and people just in lots of periods before there was that movement, there were other movements. Like during the Reconstruction period, right after we had become free, you know what I'm saying? There was a period of
The Black Panther
everything.
movement.
No, that was in the 60s. But anyway, so there's all these periods and examples of times though when we have held power and we have been able to achieve things that made real material changes for us as far as our livelihood and stuff. So do I believe in change? Yes. Do I believe I will see the type of changes that I imagine in my mind in my lifetime? No. And I tell people that all the time, like, it took decades. It took years and decades. And that's sad, but the reality is, like, it takes
It's hard because
time
it ain't really changed yet.
to shift stuff. And that's the reality. Like, when you really think about it, it's like,
It's still happening.
we be talking about the same stuff. So it's like, yes, we making change, but then every time we make a step forward, we take 2 steps back. And on the opposition side, like, they 10, 20 years ahead of us, because they've created this whole system of things and structure, and how those things affect us as a people. We've not created like the defense, like what it's constant. Because also, like, it's really heavy stuff. It's all designed like this, because even when you think about like in the 60s and how we got here, like, there's a gap, because when we went through their revolution, they killed all of our leaders, type of thing. So then they instilled, it's just like when they were lynching slaves, it creates and instills like this trauma and also this fear of you can't combat the system. So in a lot of ways, we have power to create change, but the narrative is that we don't. And they've also done things, even policy-wise, like we being attacked financially, economically, policy, lots of ways. And there are lots of ways for us to create change, and it always doesn't look the same either, but it's the strategy behind it, and it's the fact that we're out strategized. Like, them people, they got strategies, they got people in place, and they understand like how to build narratives, how to move people, like stuff like that. And so we behind a lot of ways. We've achieved some things, and we can achieve more. I mean, we can.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about that Stand on Business brunch you have coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, Stand on Business. So the Stand on Business brunch is a way for us to engage, you know, within our generation. Is all about 20s, 30s, and 40s, aimed at that demographic. Trying to, one, you know, it's about being in spaces where we can have these conversations, because a lot of people, where they having them at? Like, how are you even being influenced about how you think about politics and policy and being civically engaged in general in your community? Like, we talk a lot about the issues we don't talk a lot about, or it ain't even that we don't talk about it, people talk about it, but then it's like, where are those conversations being had? How are we pushing those things forward? So yeah, I'm really passionate about this type of work. Like, I love to engage all the aspects of culture into how we are being informed and how we're making decisions and being accountable to our communities on a small level and on a bigger level, like how we involve and show our power in a political sense in that narrative. So in that space, shall I say.
Okay. So what's your end goal you looking for after the brunch?
So yeah, the brunch is just a fun way for us to engage people and start to have those conversations on a level with each other. Because again, we're not having a conversation like it's an election year. So a big impetus for all of this is about how we now have this brand new District 2, which they created in Alabama because in 2020, every 10 years we do the census to count, the change in demographics and stuff like that.
Okay.
And what comes out of the census, though, is how money gets allocated to states, how district lines get drawn as far as voting and stuff. So 2020, Alabama's on their bullshit with that gerrymandering shit. Because they've been gerrymandering and stuff. They do that. So anyway, a group of people in Alabama came together. It was like NAACP. Shalala Dowdy, who is a Mobilian, she's going to be at the brunch on Sunday talking a little bit more about this to give y'all more details. But they were all part of this case to sue Alabama because they didn't redraw the districts like they were supposed to, according to what the updated population was. So they went through this whole fight 2023, like probably October, end of 2023. The federal courts ruled that Alabama had to redraw their districts, and which meant that they had to create this brand new District 2, which was a majority minority district. So basically a district that they created for black people. We've only ever had one black woman who's been holding it down for the 7 districts of Alabama, Terry Sewell, for like decades. So this is like a chance, literally in a life, like that fight that we talk about fighting, like this is a policy fight. And it looked different in modern days, but this is one of those things that like changed the makeup of Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Like how power is around how we make decisions. So bam, we have the opportunity now where we can get a second black person in there who's fighting for us, who, represents our interests, who's in tune with the community, things like that. So that's how we got this whole District 2, because they sued Alabama from 2020 to 2022. And like these are like policy fights and stuff that people don't necessarily pay attention to. And like even like just the census, people may or may not do the census, but then it has these ramifications like they roll over to how money gets distributed, and we talk about the issues like education and police and all this stuff. And so there's a whole budget that we get from all these things. So it does have material effects that we just have to make the connections to. So this branch is a way for us to, have those conversations, figure out what matters to people, but not make it like boring, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you go to events and it's like they talking at you, you know what I'm saying? You don't really get a lot of time to talk to other people necessarily. So this is just a different and fun way, which I think, it infuses, like I said, the culture and the civics, all this stuff. And it's like, hey, let's just come have fun. We're going to throw some prompts out there. We're going to have different activities. We got a DJ Black, going to be on the ones and twos.
Shout out to DJ
that's my
Black.
dog. And y'all know DJ Black keep the party going. So it's going to be, there's sophisticated ratchet. They say if you live it like this, that, like, you love sophisticated ratchet and you like to turn it, but you like to have, mellow, neo-soul vibes too. This is the kind of brunch for you. My girl Antoinette is going to be cooking
Shout out
food.
to Antoinette.
So Flavor by Antoinette, she's going to be providing our menu, and it's going to be, of course, delicious because our food is good. If y'all ain't never shot with her, check out her page. So yeah, we got food.
Okay.
We gonna have music. It's gonna be lit. We gonna have champagne, mimosas. It's gonna be an open bar provided by, shout out to Allure Event Center, where the space is gonna be here in Andre Ben. Thank them so graciously for holding us and hosting us in this space. But yeah, shout out to Allure, Antoinette, Black. We got vendors coming from NAACP, Stand Up Mobile, the Hip Hop Caucus. We have Guru Designs, Just By Me. Few different people, so you're gonna have different options on one hand to learn about organizations that's in community doing the work, find out about how you can get more involved in that way. And then we're gonna have, the people that you love to shop with in the city. You have clothing vendors and things like that. So, regular business owners, black business owners, so y'all can shop with them, learn more about their brands. We're gonna have some games and some giveaways. So yeah, it's gonna have all the elements. We got art by Apollo Art and Halo City gonna be in the building. Shout out to them. Apollo is a really dope artist, and he has some really cool pieces that really speak to like the culture and the conditions that we'll be dealing with. So they'll be great like think pieces because I love art. Like I feel like in another lifetime I might have been an artist, but I'm still very creative. I just think about things in a different way. But yeah, shout out to Apollo and shout out to Halo City because they're gonna be in the building. So there's gonna be an exhibit around that. We're gonna have some, prompts for y'all to ask about things that y'all care about in the community, what we can do different, blah, blah, blah. But we ain't gonna, ram it down your throat, and it's not gonna be like you know, it's not your typical brunch, it's not your typical event. You definitely gotta come. I got a lot of stuff in the mix. Guaranteed to have a good time though. If y'all ever been to an event that I've held, and if you know me, you know it's fun. It's gonna be engaging. It's gonna be uplifting. It's really about ultimately how we can come together and uplift one another as a culture. Stand on business. 2024, we gotta do that all together. And that doesn't mean just how we stand on business like in politics and stuff like that, but like how do you stand on business with your personal, your mental, your financial, because in order to even be in a place where you can start thinking about policy and stuff, you have to be mentally, personally on a level where you are, you know, feel safe and provided. So,
oh, y'all looking for this to be like every year, or this is one time?
no, so I want to hold events like this often. This will be the first, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
But I definitely want to hold more events like this. Depending on the feedback that I get, hope y'all leave me lots of feedback. But I think it'll be great.
Oh yeah.
I'm always coming up with events and things like this, so there'll definitely be more events in the future. But I hope y'all enjoy, and y'all come out Sunday, March the 24th, from 2 to 5 at Allure Event Center. Standing on business brunch, standing on business all 2024. Let's go.
So other than that, anything else you promoting and handling?
Yes. So also I wear a lot of hats. I juggle a lot of things. So yeah, I'm always, people be like, you always doing something. I know.
Always.
So I always got, yes, of course there's something else. So in addition to that, I'm also working with y'all in Dirty Dan, Alabama Hip Hop Week. Shout out to Alabama Hip Hop Week. What? And the MLB Fest. So I'm working with Dan to help coordinate and get all this stuff together, which I'm really excited because Dan been doing this for a long time. And I remember when I first moved back to Mobile, like in 2016, you know, I was showing up at the Hip Hop Fest, give me a t-shirt. I was like, yeah. So, but y'all was like, this is really cool what he doing, so I like it. So yeah. I'm be on the team. We're holding a interest meeting. If you are somebody who is interested in, if you have skills and things to bring to the table, or if you're interested in learning, like just managing a festival, if you're interested, if you're an artist, you know, stuff like that. If you have like social media skills and things like that, we welcome you to come to our interest meeting next week. You can send me or Dirty Dan inbox us, Alabama Hip Hop Week, Alabama Hip Hop Radio on social media. Follow the tags, MLB Fest, all those things. Follow us on Facebook. But definitely send us your information if you're interested in being on the interest meeting team. We're gonna start putting together, you know, coordinating meetings around how we're gonna build this thing up. It's the 17th anniversary. So, you know, let's go. My birthday, 17. November the 17th. Okay, shout out to the Scorpios. Bam. So, yeah, that's also something that I'm working on. I'm excited about.
That was up. That was up.
So, if you're interested in being on the team, we'd love to hear your ideas and have you working with us to make that possible. Because I think it's a dope thing that we do in the city. I mean, we need more stuff like that. And it turns out it's been a great turnout every year. So, shout out to Dirty Dan and the crew that's been doing it for 17 years. And I'm happy to be a new part of the team.
We're happy to have you. But come to see how passionate you are about all this. How do you handle the letdown that you faces in this process?
That's a good question. You know what? I'm a water sign, and I take it real hard. No, I'm just playing. You know, I used to take it really hard because I think I used to take it personally because it feels like I'm not doing something right, or you're failing, or, oh my God, they don't like my idea, you know. Like, oh. But people say yes and people say no. You got to find your market. You have to have a good narrative. You have to be able to explain what you're doing in a way where it's quick, it makes sense. Like I can send it in a one-pager and somebody can understand the vision. And you can't make the vision, like I'm a big vision person. Like I have big ideas, and then what I've learned through let down and look back is like, it sounds great, you know? It sounds good. How you gonna do this? Like, and so yeah, you gotta sometimes scale up to what your dream vision may be. And some people gonna say no along the way. Some people it's gonna sound like too much. Some people not in the position. Some people don't see themselves as like, I'm not the person that can help you. Or some people might look at it like this not benefiting me. It has no. So you got to be able to sell it where it's like, yeah, I want to be a part of it. Yeah, and it has to not be so big that people like they can't see it. It got to make sense and be reasonable. And relationships go a long way. Like you got to build relationships. You got to cultivate relationships because somebody might say no one day, and then next time they might say yeah. I mean, because some people you never know. Like you never know. Also, I've learned you never know who's watching you.
Right.
And you never know, like, even people that you might think in the beginning are, like, allies to you, they might talk highly of you, but you don't always understand people's ulterior motives. So, anyway, it could be people who with you, or you think is with you, they might be sabotaging you on the low, and then it might be the people that you didn't even know was paying no attention to you that later become, you know what I'm saying, who invest in what you're building. So.
Yeah.
Let down sometimes. You know how they be like, and the folks like, if your man say no to you, what they mean? Cause what? It's not all. Every no ain't always a no. It's like a not right now.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying. And you also got to be okay with people not seeing the vision, or people not. You know what I'm saying. Like some people just not. It's not for them for whatever reason.
I might not be on the same page, might not be different policies and politics
and you gotta know, like, sometimes it's like this is a good idea, but you can't do it right now. Like trying to have, it's like having too many irons in the fire at one time. It's like it's great, but am I at capacity? It's like you also gotta know your personal capacity and stuff like that. Cause sometimes you have to tell yourself no.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let down is only really a path to your next yes. So never. But yeah, let downs, failure is necessary in order to win sometimes. You take losses to get to the top. Right. You're going to hear lots of no's, and you have to, I took it really bad. I used to cry like.
Because it only takes one yes.
You know, sometimes all it takes is one. Be like, hey, I'll write the check for it. That's the only yes I need.
Right.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So anything else you got to add and coming up?
Nothing immediately. Other than those two things, it's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. I do have some things in the works. I'm not going to tell y'all all the stuff right now. But of course, I always got stuff in the works. And all my stuff, I try to involve all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to involve other people who I know have businesses or who are doing things. I try my best when I create stuff to create it in a way that it shows everybody's brilliance and creativity. Because we got a lot of dope people. I really like being behind the scenes, but I do try to do this. So if you got something, you got an idea, let's make it work. Or if I can include you into any of my ideas, or if I can support you with your idea. All of those things I'm open to. But yeah, I try to do that, uplifting everybody, and trying to include all the elements. Because there's a lot of stuff that goes into creating a cool experience for people, and in a way where, you know what I'm saying, they get something positive out of it, and we're actually building towards something that's dope.
Oh yeah, that was up. That was up. I'm gonna appreciate you coming out. You gotta do this again.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah.
We will, cause we gonna see y'all July at the MOB Fest.
Yes, sir.
This is my host voice, Alabama Hip Hop Week. Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for bringing me on and giving me space to talk about what I do.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
This your boy DJ Snoop, live from Bama Backyard, Alabama Hip Hop Radio. Shout out to Dirty Dan, shout out to Hackett, and shout out to my special guest tonight, Arianna. And see y'all this Sunday at the
Standing on Business
Brunch.
March
RIP
24th.
RIP Blood, RIP Funk. And we out.